let's go ahead and get started.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I am amazingly not on call, so my cell phone is on do not disturb.
Hey.
I don't even know where my cell phone is.
Very
Okay, so let's start off with our vignettes. So we have Lizzie playing Teresa, and Ben playing Bartholomew the Brazen. So Teresa, this is basically your chance to get off this tiny rock that you've been stuck on your whole life with your family that keep they're always talking about the glory days of being pirates and pirate kings and just all of that, and you're done with it. So you have identified the Epiox, the ship captained by Reseda Oslar, that you're planning to head off on. So you are packing your things in your house when your father Bartholomew comes up and finds you packing. So that is the setting for the scene. So go ahead and open it up. Bart, so Bart, you're just doing your regular thing, like going about your day, and you hear some thumping up in Teresa's room, and you head upstairs, and she's like, it's clear like all of her important things are going into this duffel bag. It is obvious to you that she is on her way out.
What on earth is this?
This is my escape plan from this godforsaken asteroid.
Teresa, darling, you're 15 years old. You haven't even gotten your you haven't even gotten your own cutlass yet. You've got a leftover right there, and that thing's going to break on an orc's head, and then you're going to be in for it, young lady.
Well, maybe if you'd made anything more of this family than you have, I'd have more than a broken down cutlass to use. I'm going somewhere where I can thrive, somewhere off this asteroid.
Do you think I really wanted this for you?
I don't know what you wanted for me, Dad. You've never said.
Well, I'll say right now, I would like for you to be safe. Safe and quiet within these four walls, and perhaps... yes, this will quench your thirst for adventure. We'll find you a nice sewing circle. I'm sure I've conquered a sewing circle.
I would have been better off if you died and Mom had lived.
Is that my sextant? If
you weren't going to use it, where were you going to go? I'm done with this. The time for lectures is over. If you wanted to talk to me, you could have done it in the last 15 years. I'm out of here.
Young lady, you're grounded. And, all right, I realize that sounds ridiculous, but let me just level with you here. I know I seem like the boring, everyday father, but when I go off on business trips, I'm not trading with the Brawl Federation of Merchants. What I am doing is piracy. I am a pirate, and if you want some adventure, perhaps as much as I hate to say it, a compromise. How about you pack the rest of your things and you join my crew? That way I can at least keep an eye on you and make sure that the first head you cut off is done so with the, I don't know, up to guild standards at least, so you can make a proper living.
I don't join your crew as your daughter. I join your crew as your crewmate.
That's the only way I'd have it. Good work. Sleep well. I'll most likely kill you in the morning.
If I don't kill you first, Dad.
Now that's my girl. You are a chip off the old block. I know it has been difficult with your mother gone, but if piracy be your goal, let's head off onto the high seas. Yar.
All right, very nice. So Teresa joins up with Bart for a short time. All right. And then Master Lethian and Grandmaster Ulthar. Let's see. I can't remember who I assigned to who. Who's playing
I'm
Lethian?
Lethian.
Renee? Okay. And who's playing Ulthar? Mary Catherine? Okay, great. So Grandmaster Ulthar, you yesterday, one of your old friends docked at the Monastery of the Void and has this kitten, maybe a week old tabaxi that he's brought. You talked through it and decided that it was best for the tabaxi to be raised in the monastery. And so you've decided to assign this task to Master Lethian, who has been with you for about 500 years. So you have called Lethian to your study to discuss the matter. Lethian, you have just been summoned to Grandmaster Ulthar's office. You're not sure what's going on.
Open the door. You summoned me, Grandmaster?
Oh, yes, Master Lithium. I have. Will be a very excellent challenge for you, I think, going forward. You've been with me for quite some time. I think this will be very educational for you. Just turn around and kind of pick up the kitten.
What is that?
Why? I think this is your challenge to go forward. I challenge you to raise this kitten here, this tabaxi, in your monastery.
I believe raising a child would be unhelpful to furthering the studies of the monastery. That might be a little too chaotic for what we were trying to accomplish.
I know, you see, I think the emotional needs of this child would be best suited for the monastery. So I've decided that this will be your task going forward.
Emotional.
Yes. You're probably the best suited for this. I certainly am not.
Emotional is not really what we do, but I accept this challenge as much as I can raise a child. Hopefully it'll be a learning experience, but emotions will not be brought into this.
I would expect nothing less.
Holding it like arms like what the hell is this thing? It meows at you.
Is that a normal sound?
As far as I'm aware, I know very little about these creatures.
Thank you, Grandmaster, for thinking me capable of such a daunting task. I will make sure that it is accomplished.
I feel like in the years to come, you'll understand why I gave you this task.
Carry it like a football.
Yep.
Excellent.
Okay.
Okay. Great. Those are the starting vignettes. Thanks, you guys. So let's see who can recap. Will, do you want to recap for us the last game?
Sure. So we returned to the Adventurers Academy and we presented the stone after we finally got Ratha into the office with us, and from there we got the stone out of Aezsh's ring, We regaled him with the story of how we defeated the monster, told him about stuff. He gave us some ideas of what we could possibly do next, including finding a derelict Starjammer vessel that we could use to pursue some leads. Then Belloryn got a letter that told us to go to the fountain and do what we must. We went there, we threw coins into the fountain, and all had a vision unique to us. Then, after we all did so, the staircase opened down to what we found out was the senior lounge. Then Enid was attacked by shadowy tendrils coming out of the fountain. We managed to fight them off and they disappeared. We went downstairs. We were introduced to Falcon, and we started researching into various things such as finding out more about our visions. And I think that's more or less where we left off.
Nice. Yeah. Good recap. Very good. Good memory there.
Thank you.
Okay, so what we're going to start with is I think we had finished with, but I wanted to revisit the time between discovering the senior lounge and the week before graduation, what you all were up to. So Renee, can you remind us what Enid is doing in that time span? It's about 2.5 months.
Right. So Enid did continue studying or doing some research for the vision that she saw that attacked her.
And did
then
she ever tell any of the teachers about it?
The teachers? Probably not.
Okay.
So Aezsh helped out when she inevitably failed. So we learned some things about that. And then outside of that, helping Aezsh with some upcoming what's a good word? Shenanigans, maybe. And help him prepare for graduation. And then also, she bought a violin because she used to practice all the time and she wants to get back to it. So she now bought a violin to play. But mostly just doing studies, doing research, and helping Aezsh prepare for graduation.
Okay, cool. And then Aezsh, what are you doing in the intervening time?
Helping Enid do some research, given Aezsh's familiarity with libraries and library studies.
Yeah.
And then making some preparations for the inevitable visit of his parents, buying things like buying the robes for the other college.
Okay.
Andrel College,
Yep.
buying their graduation robes and such.
Okay.
Practicing hexing some of the other students to see if they would notice if he did it stealthily.
Okay.
Trying to see if they would notice if he cast it on them, and then when it interacted with them, how that went, how likely they were to pick up on it.
Okay. Cool.
Starting with the freshmen, of course, and
Right,
then
of
eventually
course, yeah.
trying it out on some of the other seniors just to see.
Okay.
But other than that, the only other thing I recall him doing was gradually building up a stash of rations within his ring that he's like sneaking off from the school supply cabinet.
From the school.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's gonna be like it's easy to get like stuff from the commissary like during meal times. Otherwise, it's kind of behind, like it's in the closet.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, it's locked. It's not like strictly locked, but it is not intended for student access at all hours, basically.
I think he's gonna just get a little extra at each meal, like at meal times he's just getting more than he really wants.
Okay.
And taking anything that would be preservable, like in bars or whatever.
Okay.
And just taking extra at meal times. He's not like building up doomsday supplies or anything.
Right. Okay.
He's not trying to get too much.
Okay, cool. All right, Will, what's Gyrfalcon up to?
Gyrfalcon is researching into the ship that he saw in his vision.
Oh yeah.
He managed to find real quick some diagrams in old schematics books that look like the general model of the type of starjamming vessel that he saw in his vision. It was either an eel or an eel class or something similar.
Yep.
And he's also he's also looking at star maps to try and kind of look into where this ship graveyard is and some of the faster ways to get there.
Okay, great. Yeah, so in that process, you learn that there is an outpost. It's beyond the realm of High Court, but it's on Andrel, called Scandalar Outpost, and this is near the site of a massive Spelljammer spaceship battle that happened in antiquity, so long before anybody can remember. There was this massive battle, and a number of ships crashed near the outpost. So the outpost is kind of like a scavenger's haven. So people know that there are these ships there, and they go out into it's in the middle of the desert. They go out into the desert and strip various ships that they can find for parts, and that's basically why the outpost exists. You also know that there is a teleportation circle that you can get from the capital LNL to Scandalar Outpost. Okay, great. Okay, Lizzie Grikiki was learning more about spelljamming vessels, so she got some proficiency with that.
Yeah, and I think she's gonna try and get like a weekend job as a porter for. I'm sure there's like some spelljamming port in the area. So just to like get to know the people on these crews, kind of look at the ships and heft big crates around for them.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, work is that's absolutely easy work to get, on the weekends kind of thing when you don't have class assignments. Kind of show up and do casual work as a porter, and get to know some of the dock workers. You get to identify some of the spelljamming ships, the most common ones, the Damselfly and the Small Jammer being the ones that typically come into port. And get some connections there. That makes sense. Okay, Ben, what's Belloryn up to?
Right, Belloryn has gone wild for study on mind flayers. Has been in the library studying mind flayers. Has been interviewing teachers at length about not mind flayers. Has been looking through the video library with no success, because to the best he can tell, those who meet mind flayers end up enthralled or dead. And as part of all of this study, you have awarded Belloryn advantage on mind flayer knowledge rolls.
Thank you for the reminder. Okay, great. Advantage on mind flayer knowledge rolls. Okay, great. Mary Catherine, what's Ratha up to?
She was gonna start doing like historical research first on the ship she saw, just to see if like maybe it was something in the past.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then if she didn't go anywhere with that, she would probably start asking any of her professors that would be knowledgeable about that. Like heck, she probably didn't even ask her dad, just to see like if they would recognize their ships.
Okay.
Just to find out anything. And then other than that, she's probably just messing around outdoors, like trying to find as many animals as possible and like that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah, so you don't find anything in the school library, and talking to your dad and the other professors, you also don't, none of them can identify this ship. This is a vessel that is unknown to everybody that you encounter. Okay, Kara, what's Kida up to?
Kida was researching in the libraries about the insignia she saw in her vision to see if it was a family or clan thing, and she found out it was for a society of tabaxi who were transworldly adventurers looking for particular relics. She's also going to, in her time off from the library when getting frustrated from having to read books, going to go into town and recruit Grikiki to join her in finding injustice to go fight in some capacity. So probably starting fights with cops or criminals.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, Grikiki, do you you hang out with Kida, trying
Yes,
to
definitely.
do good stuff? Okay, cool.
Trying to do stuff.
Yeah, and actually, Grikiki, through your work as a porter, you're like the info dump. So you go to Kida and you're like, oh my gosh, I heard that these people were doing this shady thing, and then like you and Kida go and like jump into the midst of it and break it up.
All right.
Awesome.
Okay. Cool. Great. Anything else that I need to know about before we get to the lead up to graduation?
Does Ratha's senior project makeup, is it done before or after?
It's going to be after graduation.
Okay.
So depending on what you all end up doing, if you try to get a ship, that'll probably qualify. If you've talked to Eggford about that, he has given approval that if you guys end up getting a spelljamming ship, that will qualify for your senior project. Because I think he mentioned to you that ship graveyard, it's it's not worth it Navy to get, and most of the ships are warships, so it's not worth merchants getting. So really, the only people who bother searching that area for ships are adventurers. Okay, so a week before graduation's coming. A week before graduation, Grikiki, your mom Thea comes to the capital Ellenel. She meets you at the school, gives you a big hug, tries to pick you up, but obviously that doesn't work out well. And she says, Grikiki, oh, I'm so proud of you. Oh, this is so exciting. How has school been?
It's so good. I'm passing, and we passed our senior project, and nobody died on it, and I've made party members, and I'm learning about spaceships.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Tell me all about it. And do you have friends now?
I'm in a party.
Oh, great. Would you like to introduce me to your party members?
Yeah. Yeah, one of them's a cat. I mean, well, she's a tabaxi. She's a cat.
I've never met anything like that, like a cat thing. Please show me.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe at graduation we'll see them, and I could point them out to you. I mean, they're probably like in different places right now.
Okay, great. Well, why don't we go walk around the city and you can tell me all about everything that you've done.
Yeah, I'm so happy you're here, Mom.
Oh, darling, I'm so excited. You and Thea walk around L&L. She tells you about her latest seafaring exploits, that the ship is doing well, the business is doing well, and she's so excited for you. She makes vague allusions to you joining the crew, but also is like, oh, whatever you want to do when you graduate. So she's just like supportive, whatever. Okay, the next day, Grikiki, you and your mom are wandering through the capital. You're walking down the street. You just have gotten some ice cream that she got for you. You guys are each licking your ice cream cone. And you hear somebody scream, "Look out!" And you look up and you see a cart barreling towards the two of you. Go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw.
Natural 20.
Wow.
That was exciting.
Nice. Okay, so you see this cart barreling towards you. Thea rolls a 2.
Oh,
You
no,
hop
Mom.
out of the way, no problem. The cart barrels into your mom and rolls over her and pins her beneath it. You are in the middle of the street, and you see this cart pinning her down and slowly crushing her. There's a crowd around you now. Everybody's screaming and panicking and like, oh my god, what are we gonna do?
Uh,
What do you do?
I try to heave the cart off of her.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an athletics check.
17, and I add my strength bonus into that.
Yeah, you had your athletics, which might be.
Oh yeah, you're right. 22.
Okay. So you go over. Okay, so you go over, and you strain and strain and strain. Muscles pop out on your arms and your neck as you're hauling up on this thing. And after a short span of time, you're able to eke it up just enough that some of the bystanders kind of reach in and grab Thea and drag her out. She is injured, but conscious, and not immediately going to die. She looks up at you, kind of wide-eyed.
How far are we from like the nearest medical provider or the campus?
Yeah, you guys are like deep into the city, so you're not near campus. You're not sure about the closest hospital. You could probably ask one of the bystanders.
All right, I'd scoop mom up in my arms and am asking people as I'm already running, like where the nearest doctor is.
Okay.
Or healer.
Yeah, a handful of people point to you in the right direction, and you kind of run through the city streets towards the hospital. Your mom, Thea, is kind of looking up at you as you're cradling her, and she says, "Oh, Grikiki, you've gotten so strong."
It's gonna be okay, Mom. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna get you better, okay? You just hold on, Mom.
Okay. She kind of buries her head in your shoulder as you're running through the streets, and you get her to the hospital. They look at her quickly, and evaluate her and do some medicine, and she is more or less okay. But for the next few days, you're kind of by her side in the hospital as she is recovering.
All right.
Okay. So 5 days before graduation, Ratha, you have dinner with your father, Volwyn. He always has dinner with you at the same fancy restaurant in town, the Donders. The Donders is a high-class restaurant that serves primarily meat that is from not extinct creatures, but definitely creatures on like in that direction. So like animals that they just not that many of them in High Court, and that's like the major attraction for people eating at the Donders. So this is where he always brings you. He always orders, some rare species. He gets his meal medium rare. What do you typically order when you guys go to this restaurant?
So he usually gets like a medium rare.
Yep, like a steak of some, a steak of a rock or some magical creature that is there are not many of.
Mm. Do they serve any kind of like not animal type thing?
Yeah, so you can totally get like a side of Brussels sprouts and like a side of potatoes, but this is clearly like not what this whole thing is about.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, so I go down that route. I just get like a bunch of side dishes and then like a big dessert too.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, that's totally your go-to. So every time you come, like the wait staff knows you by this point, and they're just like just so disgusted. Kara, yeah, it feels like my life too. They're just so unimpressed with you when you come because your dad's dropping hundreds of gold pieces, and you're just like getting these little side salads. So Volwyn is sitting across the table at you. He puts the napkin in his lap, is kind of cutting up his meal, and says, "So, daughter, what what are your plans for after graduation? Have you been thinking about what you want to do?
I think I'm gonna probably go travel with the people I've met through school. There's a lot of different creatures out on the different areas, so I want to go explore.
And why do you like the creatures? Whatever drew you to being a druid of all things?
I think they find, I don't know, I think there's something peaceful about them. They clearly are doing certain things right, so I feel like we should study them and learn more about them.
They're certainly tasty.
Yeah, they are.
Well, you know that your mother is quite ill. We've talked before that it follows down the female line. So, you know, as you're doing your travels, you should be thinking about that and making sure to do what you can to see what we can do for your mother and hopefully for yourself.
I've been thinking about that as well. I'm hoping that because part of the reason why I wanted to be a druid is also to learn more of what we can from the creatures, but there is healing medicine that you can study through this path as well. So I'm hoping that along my travels, I might be able to find something interesting that maybe, you know, I'm sure we've tried. I'm sure our mother has the best care, but maybe we should try something just a little different.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're thinking about that. We will both be there for your graduation event, and we are looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm happy to see Mom. Glad that she'll be up and about.
We will make sure that she is able to come. You finish your meal. They bring you a cake slice that is like 2 times the size of your head. It must be from a cake that's like 2 feet in diameter, and it's just this huge slice of chocolate cake that you just dig into at the end of dinner. Okay, Gyrfalcon, you are researching in the time leading up to graduation. You're in the library of Eggfort one day, and somebody wraps their arm around your neck and gives you a noogie. Before you could lash out, you gotta whip around, and it is your older sister, Teresa. She is this tall, remind me, are you a half elf?
Human.
Okay, yeah. She's this tall human, dark curly hair, this kind of dangerous grin about her. Just very, very self-assured, very confident. Always roughed you up when you were growing up as kids. But she smiles as you turn around. She gives you this big ol' hug. Oh, little brother!
Hello, sister.
When are you going to get your own ship? You're supposed to get your own ship. You know, I'm a pilot now on the Epiox. It's fantastic.
Oh, yes. Father hasn't mentioned that except all the time.
Oh, I'm sure he has. Oh, Father. Just ignore him. I'm here for your graduation. I came. The Epiox was on a little side jaunt, and I asked the captain if we could stop by, and she said yes. Why don't you come out? I'll show you the ship. I don't think that you've ever seen it yet.
No, I haven't. Let's go.
Wonderful. You and Teresa head out towards the port. While you're there, you actually spot Grikiki out of the corner of your eye, like she's hauling heavy things. Teresa shows you around her ship. So her ship is very weird. It is, so you know the legend of the Spelljammer. The Spelljammer is a living ship. It's shaped like a manta ray, and it floats through the cosmos. And every now and then, it spits out tiny versions of itself that look something like this. So look like small manta ray ships. So this is a small jammer. These ships are highly prized. They are also living ships, and the story goes that they will one day become spelljammers in and of themselves. The spelljammer is this massive, like city-sized ship that is too big to go to spelljamming speeds by any rational metric that you're aware of. So Teresa shows you the Epiox, kind of tours you around, shows you like, this is my spot where I'm the pilot. This is, the captain. These are my quarters, shows you all those kinds of things. She also tells you, as you guys are kind of traveling around the city, that there's tension between the Elven fleet and the Dominion, which is the kingdom of the Mind Flayers, and that Epiox is planning to hire out to do some scouting work for the Dominion as their next task. So she, kind of takes you around the city, shows you around her ship, and you guys have a grand old day. She doesn't talk about your father at all, actually. Is there anything that you want to talk to her about?
Interesting choice of vessel.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's she pokes at it and it's like a little bit fleshy. She says, look at this, and she pokes at it and you can see her finger kind of indent, but it heals itself. It eats and drinks, and as far as I know, it doesn't, it's not sentient. Maybe the captain is able to speak to it in some way, but it's amazingly maneuverable. It has fantastic defenses. It's a great little ship.
So you're a privateer now?
Well, we go where the coin is, yes.
I can respect that.
Yeah, Dad does not, approve, obviously. It's too legitimate a line of work for him.
Well, you have my approval. In fact, I'm hoping to get into the same line of work.
Oh, do tell. What are your eyes on?
Well, let's just say that I'm focused on getting my own ship, and then we'll see how things work out from there.
Well, that's what Father's always telling me. Just being a pilot's not enough. I have to have my own ship, is what he's always saying. And maybe one day I will, but I like being a pilot. It's fun.
Oh, the whole reason I came to this school was to do exactly what you're doing. Work my way up.
I know, little brother. You're always trying to follow in my footsteps. Well, I'll just have to be a good role model for you.
Hey, you don't determine everything I do.
Of course not. So the next few days you guys spend together. She regales you of all the stories of all the adventures that she's had. It sounds like the ship that she's on is pretty impressive. Okay, 3 days before graduation, Belloryn. You are at your apartment. You're the only one that lives off campus of the group. And you hear a knock at your door early one afternoon.
Do I have a little peephole? Anything like that?
Yep,
right.
Totally.
All right, I look through the peephole.
Okay. So it's actually a magical one, so that you don't need to physically go near the door, but you're able to summon a illusion of what's within 5 feet in front of the door.
Great.
So you summon your door monitoring system. There is a kind of bulky, not necessarily tall, but very large, maybe 350 pound hippogriff headed humanoid that is, he has a rifle over his back. He's got 2 pistols at his side. He's got a monocle, and he is knocked at your door.
Right. Step near the door, but not so that if it's broken down, it breaks down on me. And can I help you?
Belloryn of Brawl.
Who's asking?
Ah, good. So he steps out of the view of your little illusion thing, and stepping into it is your father, Maximilian, and your mother, Daphne.
Father, mother, you're early. How lovely. Please come in.
All right, you open the door. This hippogriff-headed creature barges his way in first, scans the room. He's clearly doing something magical with his monocle. He moves into the apartment. He's like checking behind curtains and looking under your bed. Behind him are 5 other of these same hippogriff-headed creatures. This is your father, mother's security detail.
Have I seen them before? Do I know any of them?
You've actually not seen them before. The grounds of your house at Brawl are extremely well protected, and so you've never your parents have never had the need for the security detail when you've been at home.
Dad?
Your father walks in. He's this tall, elderly in his 50s, very stately gentleman. Your mother, the elf, your mom has always just followed behind your father. She has her own, interests and personality and everything like that. But the driver of the family is very much Maximilian. He is in like a dinner tuxedo that you often see him walking around in, and your mother is in this like ball gown. Like they're clearly dressed up to go somewhere, and that somewhere is not your apartment. They walk in. They don't bother sitting, but they kind of walk in. Maximilian looks at you and says, "Yeah, good."
Has this been the full length of schooling since I've seen them?
Exactly. Yeah, you have not
Okay.
seen. Actually, they didn't even send you off. Edward sent you off. Your butler. Like you haven't seen them for 4+ years. They just gave you a bag full of gold and sent you on your way.
Have I seen Edward?
You actually have. Edward checks in with you every year and brings you another bag of gold.
Nice. All right. Father, mother, what a pleasant surprise. It's been a while?
Well, yes, I'm sure you got our letters, Maximilian says. He starts to lean on your counter and then looks at your counter and then kind of takes his arm off of it.
Yes, thank you. Very formal.
We're very excited for you to graduate from the business school and to join the family company as soon as possible after graduation. We have a ship prepared for you, and we delight in introducing you to the company.
I see. Father, how are you feeling?
I am in marvelous health, aren't I, Daphne? And he turns to your mother, who smiles and nods. Not exactly vapidly, but she's just kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever. She's like looking around your apartment.
Father, I've been meaning to talk to you about postgraduate work.
Oh, so you would study more? I don't understand.
A a work study and experience-based program.
Oh, delightful. Well, we could certainly use more knowledge to come to the business. So, whatever you need, as long as you will come work for us, we will arrange for.
Well, about that, after all, it's been so long since we've last seen each other, and I don't entirely know what it is we do. My time in school has, how shall I say, given me a sense of individual entrepreneurial interest.
Well, there are plenty of divisions within the company that you could pursue those own interests. Now, we will wait for graduation, and after graduation, not if you, of course not, you will join the company, and doing so, it is a ritual we will perform, and after that, then we will tell you everything there is to know about the company.
A ritual? That
Indeed, we need to keep our family secrets.
Could we ask your security detail to stand in the hallway for just a moment? I've got some questions to ask you, and they're of a sensitive nature.
Go ahead and roll me a deception. Or a persuasion, whichever you prefer.
All right, let's go with deception. That's fun. That is a 19.
Oh crap. Okay. He looks at you, kind of narrows his eyes. I'm not sure that we should dispense with the gift's presence. They make sure that we are all safe. You know that we have enemies, and they are always out to look for an avenue of attack.
I see. Is what I say to you in their presence in confidence?
Oh, they are extremely well paid professionals. They just focus on what they're looking at. And you look over, and sure enough, like the GIF who has come in first, he actually has his rifle out now. So he has his rifle out, and he's like scanning the roof lines of the adjacent buildings, absolutely prepared to just like kill whoever the fuck he sees.
Hey, Popeye. We're in an apartment. We're okay? Why don't you point that someplace safe?
Okay, the GIF like looks over his shoulder, like he gathers that you're addressing him, but he looks over his shoulder at you, looks to Maximilian. Maximilian gives him like a little head shake, and the GIF goes back to scanning the rooftops.
Fine. Father, I have a very important question to ask you, and I don't want to dig too deeply into the family secrets before the ritual, but how long it is... Have you spoken by chance with what's the proper word? Illithid?
Oh, of course. Are we talking about Fluger Hasanashana? Flug is an old business partner, and we'll introduce you as soon as you join the company. He's a wonderful creature who gets us into all the best places too. So yes, we will talk about all of this after graduation. We have a party to get to, and Belloryn, we will see you then.
Wonderful. Remember the morning graduation. That's the business school.
Ah, thank you for the reminder. Wonderful. I'm sure Edward is with us. Edward would keep us in check. We'll see you then.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Does Gyrfalcon know about Belloryn's regular bag of gold delivery?
I sincerely doubt it. It's only once a year. Yeah.
Heist.
Heist. Your Belloryn, your mother gives you a little peck on the top of the head, and they and their GIF security detail head on out.
And I promptly rock myself into worry.
Okay. Aezsh. A couple days before graduation, you're in your dorm room. Your study classes are over. Dinner time is coming up. It's early evening. One of the sophomores knocks on your door.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to bother you, Aezsh. But there's a fellow at the front gate who says he knows you, and he says yes, if you could come. This terrified sophomore who's in charge of the front gate. He says his name's Zarin. He says he's your brother.
Yeah. That's right. I'll be out in just a second. Let him know. Well, I'll just head down there. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah,
was he by himself?
Yeah, he's by himself. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Thanks for not turning me into a newt.
And I just raise an eyebrow and make sparks appear at my fingertips with a minor illusion.
Yeah, this is totally one of the sophomores that you've hexed in your practice sessions.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm just gonna minor illusion, I'm just gonna wave my hand through the air and leaving a trail of like sparks in the air.
Ah! He spooks and bolts back to the gate.
And I head down to the entrance, making sure to quickly swing by Enid's room and let her know, hey, my brother's here. I'm heading down. I'm totally here visiting you.
Got it.
Cool.
Okay. So you head to the front gate where the sophomore is come back, and he's sitting there. You spot your brother on the other side of the gate. He is blonde, tall, good-looking, charismatic as hell dude. Definitely, got the elven, as aesthetic going. And he smiles and waves at you. You've always had a good relationship with your brother. Even though he's older, he always treated you pretty well. Hey, Belloryn! Totally messed that up. Hey, Aezsh! Good to see you.
What's going on?
Waves you over.
I head on over that way. Like, yeah, what's going on?
Oh, it's so good to see you. Oh,
yeah.
I'm working for the shareholder corporation. Obviously same as mom and dad.
Yeah.
And they gave me a leave pass to come see your graduation. So here I am.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad to see you. Graduation's maybe a little bit of a letdown. Shh, don't tell mom and dad yet. Just
wait, really?
Don't worry about it.
Did you not pass?
It's fine.
Did you fail?
No. No. No, don't worry. I'm acing everything. It's fine. I didn't fail anything. It's just I'll explain it again when mom and dad get here, but I want to let them have some nice pictures with the graduation robes. But apparently my advisor, I don't know, he messed something up. I missed a credit. I'm gonna have to take another thing, then graduation's gonna get delayed.
Oh Oh, well, hey,
What?
look, there's a chocolate bar right down the street. Why don't we'll go grab a hot chocolate. Let's
Awesome,
catch up.
awesome.
So you guys walk through the city. He says, you know what? Yeah, I haven't heard from our parents for a little while. It's a little weird they haven't shown up yet. I thought they'd be here by now. I actually thought I was going to be late, so I'm
Yeah, I
glad.
was expecting them to be here a few days early as well. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
They should. They'll be here tomorrow. I'm sure they'll be here tomorrow. I don't
I'm
know
sure
about
it'll
the corporation transports. That's not my division, but I'm sure they'll be along.
Yeah, I'm sure. I wonder if they're coming with Enid's parents. Do you know?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, there's only like one ship a month, that leaves.
I mean, yeah, that's
that leaves
true.
Zanzivis 9. So, I'm sure they'll all be on board the same ship. Yeah.
Okay.
How's schooling been going? Are you learning stuff? What do they teach you?
It's all right. Andrel's it's nice. It's a nice school. I've also spent a lot of time over, as you saw, I'm spending a lot of time hanging out over at the adventuring school with Enid.
Yeah, that's
They're
weird.
actually-
I mean, but I understand that she's your friend, and so you can go hang out with her. Yeah, I actually had a hard time finding you at Andrel College. Like I showed up there first, and they didn't know what I was talking about, so it was very confusing.
Yeah, that's because I'm there for classes, and I don't usually spend my off time over there. Usually I spend as much of my time over here hanging out with Enid as I can, so I'm not very often, unless
Cool.
I'm there for classes and what.
Yeah. And what are they, so what are your favorite classes? Like, what are they teaching you?
I mean, the classics are probably my favorites. I love, how I love getting in the libraries and studying the histories.
Oh yeah, you were always super nerd boy. That's right. I remember.
So that's always been my favorite. But
Good. Any girls? You have many girls? I mean, besides Enid, but she's like a sister. It doesn't count. Like any cute girls?
Yeah. No, nah, not here.
No, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, no, nothing too exciting, nothing too juicy yet.
I'm dating a girl, Melandra, that I met, and he goes into the story of meeting this nice girl through the company, also works for the shareholder company, and you guys just have a nice evening over a cup of hot chocolate.
Awesome.
Okay. I love the chat comment, you guys. Okay, so day before graduation, Gyrfalcon. You're in your dorm room, and you hear a pounding on your door. You're surprised that you didn't hear your father approaching down the hall, but now that you realize it, you heard someone bellowing in the hallway. You just kind of ignored it. But sure enough, your father, Bartholomew, the Brazen, is here with your sister, your younger sister, Antoinette, and he's brought like a ton of family with him. He's got your Aunt Griselda, her dopey husband, Harry, all of their children. Like there's this mob outside of your door as Bartholomew is pounding on your door. Gyrfalcon! Come on, my boy!
I open the door and say, living up to your style, I see, Father.
Hey, there's my boy! He picks you up and twirls you around. He and the rest of the family like immediately just like mob into your dorm room and make themselves at home. Your Aunt Griselda is kind of looking over your things and kind of picking at them. Oh, so good to see you. I'm so proud of you. You're graduating and you're gonna own a ship. Teresa tells me you're gonna own your own ship. That's delightful. You're gonna be a pirate soon one day, my boy.
Teresa has a big mouth, but yes.
I know. I spotted her in the spaceport. I think she tried to run from me, but I got her. Ha ha. We had a good old catching up to do. And you remember your Aunt Griselda and Harry and their boys? I asked William One-Eye for more money, and he gave it to me. He is going to be dead on some escapade long before I have to pay him back.
I hope for our sake you're right.
Oh, come on, my boy. Let's go out for dinner and drinks. Dinner and drinks on me. He walks down the hall. So he doesn't even know that you're coming with him. He like just turns around and walks out. He like tries to grab whatever student he can, like dinner and drinks on me. And he has like a retinue of like 20 students by the time he leaves the academy.
Okay.
Do you go with him?
I slightly unsheathe my rapier and look at my cousins and say, if you make me lose my place, I will gut you.
Okay. All right. These are like two 11, 10-year-old boys. They look at you. They're like,
I don't change my answer.
all right. Your father takes you and this horde of people out on the town and has a grand time. Buys multiple rounds for the whole bar. And at the end of the night just like flips out platinum pieces like it's no tomorrow.
How much money did you get from William One-Eye Father?
Oh, he said, how much do you need? And I said, well, what's a fair number? 1,000 gold pieces? And William One-Eye said, no, that's too little. Too little. He said, let me give you 10,000 gold pieces. And I said, well, bugger me. Why not take 10,000 gold pieces? I mean, I could certainly use it. And here we are. And I brought the whole family.
Remind me to kill him myself.
He's so proud of himself. Okay.
Thank you for the display of generosity, Father.
Oh, everybody loves me. Okay, so that's the week leading up to graduation. Anybody want to do anything before graduation day?
Yes. I want to pack up a bug out bag.
Yeah, for sure, no problem. Yeah, Belloryn.
Yeah.
So what's that? That's going to be your dagger, your crossbow, your traveler's clothes, rations, just all your adventuring gear.
Yes, my adventuring gear. I set it near the door, and basically haven't slept since I found out the family's in the mind flayer business, whatever that may be, and want to be ready to book it the hell out of there if necessary.
Got it. Cool.
Sam was first.
Go ahead, Will.
Sam was first.
Oh, okay. Aezsh is just going to take his adventuring pack and any other suspiciously adventuring type materials and stash them in the ring the day before.
Oh, okay. Got it.
He doesn't want his family seeing this like backpack full of daggers and climbing gear and all this mess.
That makes sense.
So he's hiding as much of that as he possibly can in the ring, even though it's going to, not be accessible if he needs it immediately. He'd rather have it hidden.
Got it. Does your family know about your pact? Okay.
No, definitely not.
That's what I okay, great. Okay, Will?
Question. I know that firearms exist in this world. Do I have to have a proficiency to be able to use one?
No, you can use one. You just don't get your proficiency bonus when you do use it. So you get it's just flat dexterity bonus to hit.
Okay. I asked my father to buy me one.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. So you ask him to get you one. Bartholomew says, "Oh my boy, wink. That'll be a great graduation present for you." Lizzie?
I introduced Thea to as many of you fine people as I could possibly track down.
Oh, great. Okay.
Say glowing and excited things about each one of you.
Nice. Yeah, you guys all meet Thea's mom, and you are all absolutely charmed by her. Like, she is just like the most warm and pleasant and an enthusiastic woman, and she's just down to earth and just the most adjusted human being probably that any of you have encountered. Kara?
I was gonna go around town and ask people I have met through my dealing with injustices, let's say, and see if anyone had recognized the rose insignia.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I think you've done your library research and you looked around. Have you asked any of the teachers about it?
I was gonna ask them too, yeah, while I was doing the research. So.
Okay. So in talking to the teachers, go ahead and give me a persuasion or investigation check.
It's 18.
For which?
Either.
Tell me which one you're doing, because that'll kind of influence the information.
Yeah, let's do persuasion.
Okay. Okay, so in talking to the teachers, so one of them is that you haven't taken very many classes from, but one of them is a rogue. This is Professor Jastin. Professor Jastin is maybe a little more traveled than some of the others, except for maybe Professor Aust, who went with you on your adventure. He also has been pretty well traveled. But Professor Jastin, he looks at the insignia and he says, "I was on a ship once with a tabaxi that had that symbol on their rapier hilt." They were also like a roguish sort of character. We were both travelers. We were both like on the ship as paying customers, and we just happened to be going in the same way. It was a very out of the way destination. Like this was a chartered vessel that took us towards the edge of sorry, hang on a second. It took us towards the edge of the Omnian Swarm, which is the domain of the Clockwork Horrors. So that's where I've seen that symbol before.
Did they say what they were looking for or anything about their group, their society?
No. I didn't realize it was an insignia of any importance or significance. It's a very distinct stylized rose, so that's why I remember it. And also we were in like the back end of nowhere. Like we were off all charts. And so I was just curious as to why this tabaxi was going off into the middle of nowhere, apparently. I was going for riches and treasures, of course. And I found some. But this fellow, yeah, not sure what he was up to out there.
Thank you, Professor.
Okay, anybody else doing anything up to graduation?
You said that I like interacted with professors and they didn't know anything either of the ships.
Correct. Yeah, you asked all the professors. You actually asked all the professors, even the ones that like you haven't worked with or haven't taught you since freshman and sophomore year, and dug in the library and talked to your father, who is the Elven Fleet ambassador to Andrel, and he is extremely well versed in spelljamming vessels, and nobody has seen anything even remotely like these ships that you're describing.
So like no one would even have any idea of like who to do research or ask anybody.
Oh no, so Eggford, the principal, once you bring it to him and you're like, principal, I haven't been able to find this, like nobody knows anything about it. He's like, oh,
I'm so glad to see you.
The great library, the Library of Twilight at the Rock of Brawl. Any information is available there.
I'll make note of that. I'll have to go there. I think, yeah, I would probably visit him like right before and then just get that information from him.
Okay. Yeah, so the Library of Twilight at the Rock of Brawl he says.
And then I'm probably also like spending as much time with my mom, asking her spending time with her, trying to find out like a little bit more about like the weird thing with our family.
Yeah. So yeah, you have to go to your parents' house. She is often on this stone. It's wheelchair shaped, but it levitates. It just floats around. Is usually how she gets around. So she's usually outside on her stone floating wheelchair thing, enjoying the sun and looking at the birds and just kind of soaking it up. She is not very old. She's only 300 or 400 years old, but she looks like she's dying. Frankly, this is how she's always looked to you. Although you think that maybe she looks a little bit worse than when you were growing up, and you know that elves shouldn't be able to die. You don't. Nobody in your family understands why this happens or what to do about it. But all of the females in your family, for as long as anybody can remember, have died relatively young, like by about 400 years. And they all just wither. They just waste away. They just wither and waste away. So your mother can't really walk on her own. She needs help. If you want to walk with her, you can kind of support her. Generally, she just kind of like stays in her room, honestly. And when she goes out, she kind of goes in her floating chair. So there's nothing like obviously wrong in terms of like she doesn't have any like she doesn't have any nausea or pain or anything. She's just like wasting away.
I probably would also take the time to like, I don't want to take any documents we have, but I would probably like transcribe any notes that are significant. That like, I'm sure we've documented it to some capacity.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
That is a non-natural 20.
Okay. So going through the papers, yeah, I mean, your father's out working. Your mom is in her room, so it's easy to just rifle through everything that you want to in the house. So you find a variety of documents, some family trees that you are able to understand. And again, kind of confirms what you've known, which is, the females of your family die, which is, again, really weird for elves. You gather that some of the most powerful arcanists in the Elven fleet have been contracted to work on this project and have not been able to. You actually find evidence that at one point, this was back in the day, one of the archmages of the Elven fleet cast Wish to try to cure the disease from your family line, and that was not successful. So whatever this magic is seems to exceed the capability of normal mortals to manipulate it. Okay, and then Will?
Yeah, quick question. Does Gyrfalcon know about Grikiki's interest in starjamming vessels?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's been a couple of months. She's been researching. She's probably been talking about it. Well, go ahead, Lizzie.
Yeah, she's pretty vocal.
Okay, then at some point, I want to make it known to Grikiki that I want a ship, and if I get a ship, then I'm going to need a helmsman.
I will be your helmsman.
Excellent.
Nice. All right, Sam?
If Aezsh's parents haven't showed up by like the day before graduation, is there any way he could attempt to get in touch with them?
That's a good question. So historically, your family is communicated to you via written letter. It's about a 2-month delay. You probably know, talking to Belloryn, that there is magic that allows you to instantaneously communicate with someone. It is expensive to pay for a magic user to cast that spell. It's sending. It's a 3rd level spell, so it's difficult to find someone to it's not difficult to find someone. It's just expensive to pay them to do
expensive.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably beyond Aezsh's means.
Probably so.
At least with what he has now.
Okay.
Ben?
All right. Belloryn has decided that that his house is probably not the place for his bug out bag if he decides he needs to book it, and so he has told all of his friends individually that there may be trouble, and he has given them a rally point to not far from the university that if you don't see me after graduation, look for me there. Bring your shit.
Okay, cool. And maybe Ratha puts you on to like a little grove, like a kind of, disused, sort of out of the way place where not a lot of people go. And she's like, oh yeah, you can totally like put whatever secret here. Lizzie.
Seems legit.
I mean, you were the one who brought the letter last time, and we're like, we're gonna go here. And we're like, yeah, sure. Cool.
Right.
What's our intelligence score again?
Is it too late to start asking questions?
Nope.
Okay. Belloryn, does this have anything to do with your vision from the fountain?
Yes. Yes, it does. I don't want to go into specifics right now, but it looks like not only does my father know he's been in contact with mind flayers and looking all loopy, but he's in business with them, and he wants to involve me in some kind of ritual to join the family business. So I'm pretty messed up about that, and so if it looks like I'm going to become some mind flayer's thrall in order to make lots of money, I think it's going to be time to run. And we'll go and get your ship. And then we'll free my family from the mind flayers after doing all sorts of other fun things, because I don't think I can kill a mind flayer yet. Can you?
No, I'd say that's a fair price for your freedom.
Good. Good. I'm glad we're agreed. I got to peace out. I got to get the rest of my stuff together.
Don't die.
What are you guys doing a graduation party either before or after the actual ceremony? Have you all thought about that?
I'll suggest that we all go to a local tavern for one last pre-graduation drink.
Sounds good. Just not the one on West East Street. I may have started a brawl there. We don't need to talk about it. It's solving problems, injustice, bad prices.
Where haven't you beaten up drunks around this town?
Where are there no drunks? Would be a better question.
Church?
Well, there's about
I've not beaten up anyone at
church.
church. Yeah, I've not beaten up anyone at church.
Excellent.
Okay, so you guys all gather together at the tavern to have your pre-graduation celebratory drink. Do you invite any of your family or friends, or is it just going to be the graduating seniors?
I'll invite Teresa.
I'll invite any friends I made around town.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, Kida, you, so there is one of the constables that kind of cleans up your messes, as it were, but nonetheless expresses some appreciation for your work that comes with you. It's Constable Frida. She's just like a beat cop, basically. But she's always like whenever you're there at the scene of a mess and she shows up, she's like, get out of here, and then she like actually arrests the villains. Okay, great. So Teresa comes, Constable Frida comes. Teresa is super cool. Like you guys, for the most part, like really groove on Teresa. She's just very like sure of herself, very charismatic. You kind of wonder like how this family like produced Teresa and then produced Gyrfalcon. Like, not that Gyrfalcon is not okay, but like Teresa is like super cool. Like she is legit cool.
I remind them that she's had a lot longer than me to get this way.
All right. So graduation day comes. So you all are bustled about. There's a ceremonial dress that you all put on, and you're kind of in like a staging area sort of thing. The whole rest of the academy is out. It takes place outside in the back courtyard of the academy. There's a bunch of like little folding chairs. All of your friends and family have come there. So you all walk down the center aisle. Ahead of you, up on the platform, it's just Professor Aezsh, Jeremiah, and Eggfort. You don't know where the rest of the teachers are, although you've noticed the past couple of days that they haven't really been around. Enid and Aezsh, you guys are walking down the central aisle, like scanning the faces, and neither of you see any of your family. Neither of your parents have come here. Aezsh, your brother is here. Zyrun is here, and he's also like kind of scrunched face, looking around, like clearly expecting your parents to show up at any second.
I'm just going to say that I would have told him that the academy is giving me an honorary degree because of all the time I've spent here hanging out with Enid and like helping along with her stuff.
Nice.
So that's why
We're
I'm
kind of
walking,
going
because I'm
with
getting
the
an honorary degree.
You know how a seeing eye dog will sometimes get a degree?
So that's to explain to him why I'm walking, because I wanted to explain that to him and my parents together, but since my parents haven't showed up, I'm gonna say I explained it to him in advance.
Got it. Okay, that makes
sense.
I
don't want him to see me walking down the aisle for the first time here and be like,
what's going on? Okay, cool. And then Belloryn, Maximilian and Daphne are here, and they as well as their security detail, like they're a GIF all over the place. Edward, your butler, is sitting with them. And they are clearly confused. Like they are sitting there and they're not quite sure what they're doing there. You get as you're walking down the aisle. Grikiki Thea's there. Gyrfalcon, Bartholomew, and all of your your cousins and your aunt and your sisters are there. Ratha, your parents are there. Your mother Eyes is in her hovering chair. There is probably a dozen Elven Fleet security detail here as well, and like the elves and the GIF are like glaring at each other about who's providing like the better security. So you guys walk down the center aisle, sit in the front row. Arthur Eggfort stands up. Here's welcome all. I'm afraid most of the teachers are away dealing with a wyvern problem at the Dragon Mount, so it's just me and Professor Jeremiah. But welcome to you. He also points, there is the large 8-sided black stone that you all recovered from the downed crater that has like a piece of it that was torn out and destroyed. He retells some of your daring acts. He points at the stone, says, you recovered this object as part of your senior project. He says you earned a high pass, and Thea, Grikiki's mom, like nudges someone next to her, and she's like, "That's my daughter." He says your future is bright. Maybe there will be a journey involving a ship that you'll recover yourselves. And then he has each of you watch across the stage, gives you your adventuring passport. gives you your silver dagger, and then he does some kind of magic to your left eyebrow, and a little stud of metal is embedded into your flesh there. You all know about this. This is part of the deal. These are the things you guys get as being graduates. Is anyone going to do any shenanigans?
I will cast Prestidigitation, and when my friends walk across the stage, there's going to be various yays and hoorahs in magical script.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, Aezsh is just going to stick close behind Enid the whole time.
Okay, got it.
Since he's there as an honorary thing with her.
Sure. Yep. Yeah, the honorary thing, like especially with the passport and the dagger and the eyebrow stud, is a little harder to pull off. So why don't you give me a deception check, Aezsh, for your brother.
17.
17. Okay. I mean, he buys it. He's like, oh, yeah, that seems legit. Ratha, give me a insight check as you're kind of standing there, getting your passport and dagger, looking out over to the audience, looking at your parents, your mom and your dad.
I'd say 22.
Holy crap. Okay. So so you're just like kind of minding your own business, like listening to Eggfort. You're walking across the stage, you look out at your parents. Your father is glaring daggers at Professor Aezsh. And you track that immediately. Like you're like he is like tense, and you know your father when he's tense. He is tense and he's glaring at the stage party, which is only Professor Aezsh at this point.
Do I have any clue why?
He's glaring at. He's obviously interested / upset. But your experience with Professor Aezsh, I mean, he's the linguistics guy. You don't know that there's anything remarkable there.
I don't know, like, anything else about the professor? Like, did he used to work for the...
No, yeah, it didn't come out as far as you know. He hasn't told anyone any of his history. Okay, so you guys go through the ceremony, do your cheers. Everybody's like, yay. Gyrfalcon, your dad's telling everyone like, oh yeah, he's the leader of the group. He's going to be getting his own ship, and they're all going to be working on his crew. It's going to be great. You guys are all kind of milling about afterwards. Kida, go ahead and give me an initiative roll.
Cool. Okay. Oh, 10.
Okay.
Not great.
Okay, you're milling about, and you get thwacked, not ungently, on the side of the head. Actually, I guess I should roll to hit. Yeah. Oh, that's a natural 20. You're actually like vaguely concussed momentarily. Like you get hit pretty hard from the back of the head, and you turn around and you see standing there Master Lethian, the elf who raised you and trained you at the monastery. He is just standing there kind of impassively. He was clearly the one who just wrapped you. He says, well, I thought your reflexes might have gotten better.
I leap at him with a hug.
Nice.
But like full, like intending to knock him over.
Okay, go and roll an attack for me.
I have forgotten how to roll an attack. Oh God.
It'll be your dexterity plus plus your proficiency, so +5.
Yeah.
Yep.
Telling you, inept at combat. That's an 8.
An 8, nice. Okay, so you like turn and try to spring at him, and he just like takes a little sidestep, and you go sailing past, hit some of the folding chairs, and just make an absolute fool of yourself.
I jump on my feet like, I've been working on my entertaining while I've been in the taverns. I thought you would get a kick out of that.
Yeah. Right, Lizzie.
Definitely intentional.
Okay, he raises an eyebrow, steps towards you. So, can you tell me when you have made the peaceful decision rather than the moral decision lately?
I went to the local church to volunteer with the orphans instead of seeking out criminals last Saturday.
Go ahead and roll persuasion. Persuasion or deception for me.
You know, oh my God. That's a 3.
Oh, Jesus. Master Lethian shakes his head. Oh dear, Kida, what will we do?
Look, there were a lot of thugs on the way there. I can't, sometimes justice calls. That's why I'm here. Regardless, it is very good to see you.
Well, Grandmaster Ulthor has sent me to test you for induction into the way of eternal emptiness.
I am honored. What is the test?
We will go and deal with it presently. He just turns and starts walking away.
Thanks for coming, Dad.
Okay, so you guys are graduates. Kida, the next day, Master Lethian finds you, takes you out to a little grassy area. He spars with you briefly, and offers you to join into the Way of Eternal Emptiness, which is the style that you grew up learning. What all are you guys doing? So the dorms, those are you, everybody except for Belloryn basically is staying in the dorms. They'll let you stay in there for another month or so to kind of get your bearings. Aezsh after the graduation celebration, Zyron walks up to you. He says, "Well, little brother, don't know where our parents are. I'm a little worried."
Yeah, I'm concerned for them as well as Enid's parents. I wonder what could have delayed them. I know they wouldn't have missed this.
No, it's very unusual. Tell you what, I have many contacts in the corporation. Let me get back to work. I'll see what's going on at Zanzivis 9 and just make sure that everything's okay. And as soon as I can, I'll give you a sending.
Okay, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm very concerned.
My office, my primary office is at the Rock of Brawl. That's where I'll be, and I'll let you know as soon as I know anything. And Enid as well. I don't know. I'm sorry that your parents aren't here. I don't know what's going on, but I'll find out what I can.
Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it.
And then off to the side, do you think he's really going to find out fast enough? He's gone.
I don't know. I'm just confused why they're not here. Unless something happened to their ship on the way over, because I know our parents wouldn't have missed this if they had any opportunity to make it.
That's what I was thinking too.
And he seemed just as confused as we were.
Are there like news stands? Would like a big crash of a ship be something that we would all know about pretty immediately?
That's a good question. I don't know that unless it was like a Navy, like a high court vessel, like flying the high court flag, I don't know that it would show up in the local news, but it wouldn't be hard to do a little bit of research and find out. Well, Grikiki's been hanging out at the spaceport, so she would probably...
I'll ask Grikiki if the ship ever showed up.
I know.
Yeah. So Grikiki, no, you haven't seen. Enid describes the parents to you. You haven't seen any people like that offboarding at all. And go ahead and roll an investigation check for me.
Ten.
10. Okay. You haven't heard of any you haven't heard of any battles, you haven't heard of any like remarkable piracy. The route from you do know the route from Andrel to the Rock of Brawl is pretty darn safe. Not totally, like there is some hazards obviously. But that's pretty darn safe. You don't know anything about the route from the Rock of Brawl to Zanzivis 9. You don't know anything about that. So for all you know, it could be a perilous journey from there.
I relay that to Enid, and I'm also like, do you need help? Are your parents okay?
I'm not sure. They were supposed to come. They said that they would come, and Aezsh's parents were supposed to come as well, but none of them showed up. So now I'm just trying to figure out if something happened to the ship. Did the ship even arrive? Because it's not like them to miss this. So I'm a little worried.
It never came into port. Maybe they are okay?
I hope so. Thank you.
Belloryn, the day after graduation, you get another knock on your door.
All right.
Activating your security thing, it's the GIF again.
One moment, be right there. So, what rooms of my my apartment have exterior windows?
So the main living area as well as the bedroom have exterior windows, and you have a little balcony out there as well.
All right. How high up am I off the ground?
You are on the 8th story.
Shit. Okay. All right. Let's open the door.
Okay.
Come in.
Okay. The GIF kind of barges his way in as last time. Looks around, and Edward has come, your old butler, who continues to supply you with coin every year. Who's really the only person that you've seen from the Rock of Brawl since you left. Edward, he's standing in the doorway. He says, "Master Belloryn, your father has requested your presence on their ship."
Really? How's his mood?
Oh, as usual.
All right. Well, that sounds awful. I tell you what. Let me get a few things together, and I will catch up with all of you on the ship.
Certainly. It's at docking port 4.
Thank you.
Edward and the GIF head on out. What are you doing, Belloryn?
All right, I am heading to the secret bug out spot.
Okay.
It is time to go.
Okay. All right, Renee.
So Aezsh and I, after relaying the information Grikiki gave to me, I'm going to tell Aezsh, and we're going to try to see if maybe there's like an arrival departure schedule at the port on Andril that has like maybe a list of all the names of the ship. That way we can maybe find out the name of said ship that was supposed to come here from Zanzibar 9.
Yeah, so so you guys actually know,
and we will break into anything if we need to.
Okay, you guys actually know from your experience. So going from Zanzibar 9 to the Rock of Brawl, the only ships that make that route are the shareholder corporation ships. Like the only thing that goes out to Zanzibar 9 is the shareholder corporation company. It is a company town. Like the store is run by the company. Everything's owned by the company.
Yeah.
So the same kind of thing. All the ships that leave the asteroid are also owned by the company. So any of the ships that would go to the Rock of Brawl would be the shareholder corporation. And then you don't think that your parents would have taken one of those from the Rock of Brawl.
They had like a little layover.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. They probably had some kind of layover. So you're not sure what ship they would have taken. Probably the quickest one, like whatever would have gotten them there in time is what they would have taken.
Got it. Okay.
And could we check, since my brother is with the company, could we check with him if that ship that they would have taken did in fact make that trip?
Yeah, so that's one of the things that he's going to check on. He needs to get back to his office, and he's going to get you all that information. But he does say it'll take a little bit of time. So until then you're kind of on your own.
Cool.
Okay, so so graduation is over. What all? So Kida, you've been indoctrinated into the way. Ratha, you need to do your makeup project. Grikiki, your mom Thea, she after graduation is so excited, so proud of you. She asks if you want to join her ship or if you're going to hang out with your friends.
I think I have some stuff I need to do here, Mom.
Okay, she smiles understandingly. She gives you a hug. She comes back after a couple of hours. She gives you a little, not little, about 6-inch square cube. This is a sending stone that you can use to communicate with her once a week.
All right. I give her almost everything I've made working at the dock.
Nice. Okay, awesome. She is just so grateful and is just so teary-eyed and is excited that you're on your own and doing your own adventures, and she'll look forward to your first sending. And she heads off on her ship. Gyrfalcon, your father takes off with Antoinette, your sister, and the rest of the family. Teresa comes to you and she says, "Well, you're a free agent now. I don't know if there's space on the ship, but if you are interested in, I might be able to ask questions."
I have a potential contract already in motion, but stay in touch.
Good. Wonderful. You can always get me through Dancing Lady at the Rock of Brawl. They can always get me a message.
Did Bartholomew remember to buy me my pistol?
Yeah, somewhat amazingly, he did remember to get you your pistol. So he gives you your graduation gift. It's in this like really nice box. It's inlaid with like mother of pearl and this like beautiful single shot like flintlock type pistol. And he claims that that it is magical as well.
Awesome. Any ammo?
Yeah, and as well as whatever ammo you need for it.
Awesome.
So you have a single shot, basically a dueling pistol. It's 1d6 damage and it's +1 to hit and damage, so it's magical.
Sweet.
Okay, so Belloryn, you're gonna bug out. Where are you gonna go? Are you gonna grab anybody?
Yes.
What's the plan here?
So the first thing I do is run down to the nearest clothing store or adventure supplier and buy a long mini pocketed cloak with a large cowl.
Okay.
How much does that cost?
5 silver.
5 silver. Okay, great. And I will make note of that to subtract silver. And I will sneak up on all of my friends in my new cloak and whisper to them to meet me at the place with the stuff.
Okay, so this is the day after graduation. You guys, they're individually because they're all kind of
Yes.
on their own thing. Belloryn, shares with you this. Are you trying to be stealthy?
Not in particular. Actually, you know what? Yes, I am.
Go ahead and give me a stealth.
All right, 16.
Okay, 16 beats everybody's passive perception. So you all are briefly, startled when Belloryn comes up to you and passes this message on. So what is everybody doing? So, yeah, are you gonna?
Did Ratha tell us the conditions that would satisfy her challenge?
Yes, yeah. You guys know that Ratha has to do a makeup senior project, and that it has to be some sort of adventure. Mild to moderately dangerous. Ideally, retrieving something or finding something of value. And I think that Ratha has probably also been told by Eggfort that going to Scandalar Outpost and finding a spelljamming ship would qualify for fulfilling that project. Kara?
When I was talking to my master and he inducted me in, was he implying that I would go back to the monastery, or is it just like that's the monk path I'm following?
Right. Yeah. So no. So the details of being inducted into the way are you send 15% of anything that you make or earn to the monastery to continue supporting it. You can call on the monastery for aid if you need to. He doesn't give you any mechanism to do that though. So you would need to figure out how to communicate that aid. And that other members of the way that you encounter are beholden to assist you, and you are beholden to assist them. And there are many of these. You remember growing up, like monks were coming in and out of the monastery, and even non-monks, like people would come to the monastery, like train for a month or so, and then go out into the world. And so there's this reasonably complex network of people that all have some minor connection / allegiance to the Monastery of Endlessness that you can reach into. But the implication was that you not come back to the monastery based on your answers to him that were not very he wasn't taken in by them at all. He feels that you need more time in the world to come to your own sense of peace and contentment and not stop trying to do good things. So yeah, that was what he told you.
Okay. So you said at the beginning during my research part that I learned a way to get to the ship graveyard, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's actually pretty easy, and Eggfort has actually agreed to activate the teleportation circle for anybody who wants to go to Scandalar Outpost to try to find one of these ships.
Okay, then I'll tell all the others that I think that we can solve everyone's problems and get everybody what they want by going to Scandalar, finding a ship, and first going to try and find the ship that Aezsh and Enid's parents are on, and then going to investigate what's happening with Belloryn's parents' company. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Let's get a
Question.
ship.
Damn.
How difficult is it to just buy passage to the Rock of Brawl?
Yeah, that's a good question. It is certainly, if all 8 of you were going to go, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All 7 of you were going to go. It would be quite expensive, even for one of you. Actually, Grikiki, you know this because you've been working in the docks. It is a sum of money that probably only Belloryn has ever only seen in his life. It's in the range of 500 plus gold pieces per passenger, is what you understand. So it would not be an economical solution.
We don't. Okay, so we don't have the money to go to Brawl, but we have the skills and the know-how.
Exactly.
And that's what I say to everyone else.
The skills and the
Visibly raised
know-how.
eyebrow.
I remind everyone that I've served on privateering vessels and that Grikiki has been learning how to pilot Starjammer vessels.
Well, and I've died once. It's not so awful. Let's go do it again.
You didn't die. I kept you from dying. You were just almost dead.
What an inspiring speech.
You were only
Fred
mostly
Belloryn.
dead.
You were
Dying
only
is much
mostly
different
dead.
than what you did.
That's true. Enid knows a lot better about that.
That's true.
Belloryn, if you're right, then you won't just be dead. You'll be a thrall to a mind flayer.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Let's go to get a ship now, shall we?
That's the spirit.
Let's
mean,
leave.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not real thrilled about the mind flayer part. I'd like to steer clear of that if I could, but I do want to get to Brawl.
If you want to get to Brawl, vote for Brawl.
Okay.
I want to get to Brawl as well.
Brawl.
Great. All right, you guys head to the teleportation circle. Eggfort activates it, and you go to Scandalar Outpost, where hopefully you will find a ship, which Gyrfalcon, you know, has been your lifelong dream. That'll hopefully get those of you who need to get to Brawl, get to the library, and continue on with your personal adventures. And that'll also satisfy Ratha's senior year makeup project. Cool.
That came
All
together
right.
awesome.
What's that?
No, just the
That
line.
came together awesome.
Worked it out.
All right, well done.
Question: What do we know what the eyepiece things do now that we have them?
Oh, that is a
What are you
really good
doing?
question.
Because I know we weren't told ahead of time.
You were not told ahead of time. So actually, if you have access to the senior lounge, so you know from research there, or if you want to ask Falcon or any of the recordings, yeah, you know that is a way for Eggfort to communicate with you. So it's similar to ascending, but a little more powerful and a little more like specialized, and it's a location tracker. So it's not individualized. So it's not like you could find like Aezsh per se, but you know, at least the Eggfort knows where all of the people who have one of these is, and that Adventuring Academy alum can use it to locate each other. You totally got microchip. Yep.
Can any of us use that to find other people? Is it only?
No,
him
you can
that
also
use
use it to find other adventurers if you have the correct ritual or magics.
Sweet, it's a comm link.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's also like a little. It's not quite like a
It's
cortex
a tiny bomb.
Yeah.
Inflates
Like
the
a
bomb.
giant. So it's like a giant. We can't, since it's not specialized. Is it like a giant mass chain email type?
Yeah. Yeah,
broadcast.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you would get like proximity. So like
Okay.
it's kind of like a radar, and it like ping your radar would like ping all the dots as it extends out.
Is it unpleasant?
It's not now. It was a little unpleasant to get, and playing with it. So the thing is that it's not just through your skin, but it is actually embedded into the bone of your eyebrow, of your frontal bone there. So so if you were to take it out, this would be like reasonably major trauma.
Oh, so it stays. Super duper.
Let's hope that the principal is not working with your dad.
That is a terrifying thought.
All right. So good game, you guys. Thank you as always. Hope you had fun. And then next game we will get to the outpost and into the desert. Oh, what was that, Kara?
That's coming along, Kara.
Thanks. I'm working on a sunflower bag, so.
Oh, cool. Very nice. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for the game, you guys, and I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.